This is the world-famous Cinesaddle, regarded as the ultimate camera accessory. Shoot anywhere with rock-solid results every time. The original Cinesaddle provides maximum protection and stability for any camera. Your shots will be indistinguishable from those filmed using a tripod. This is the product which started the Cinesaddle revolution and remains supreme today as king of the camera saddles. It was in this location in 1988 where Mike Young filmed the promotional video for the first Cinesaddle. Here he showed how it could be used, how to put it on the car as a car mount, how it could be used as a static mount, and basically the overall usefulness of this device. That video which we filmed then was shown at trade shows, has been shown all over the world, and it's a testament, it's a piece of Cinesaddle history. For a product to survive for pretty much 4 decades in this industry and to be more popular than ever, that just shows how good the Cinesaddle is. So talk about the Cinesaddle. The Cinesaddle is an iconic product. It's been on the market since 1988. In that time, it's been used from everything from major films, many of the feature films you've seen. And it gets taken out in grip trucks, on all sorts of production, commercials, news, documentary, events, weddings, every single sort of filming you can think of. Not only that, we know that a lot of photographers use the Cinesaddle as well as the video and film people. So it really gets used for everything. The thing to know about the Cinesaddle is they all function really well, pretty much regardless of what camera you're going to use. If you have a really big camera, yes, the full-size Cinesaddle is the best one, and it'll protect it and it'll give you somewhere to mount the camera within the structure of the Cinesaddle, and it's absolutely perfect. But if you need something smaller, the Minisaddle is going to work pretty good with a full-size camera as well, and believe it or not, even the smaller ones you'll be able to make it work. The Cinesaddle functions as a tripod replacement. Many times I'd gone out on a shoot and I'd just taken the Cinesaddle because I know what I need, and those shots that I need to get, the Cinesaddle's perfect for, and you don't need to lug a tripod with you. There's a reason why a product like this survives for coming up to 4 decades, over 35 years at the moment. And that's because it serves the needs of the camera operators on set. It makes their lives easier. It's a product that lasts forever. It never breaks. It works in all weather. It doesn't matter if it gets rained or splashed on. It's not 100% waterproof, meaning you're not going to take it swimming with you. But if it gets wet, it really doesn't matter. And I can vouch for that because I took it filming under Nigara Falls in the Maid of the Mist, and it was the one thing that let me get those shots in that situation. I've been using the Cinesaddle since 1987 when the first prototypes were brought out. It was my dad way back in 1987 that designed this product, Mike Young, he's the guy. Now, that's me in my 20s filming with the Cinesaddle. I went on to film all over the world. I took this thing everywhere. You can see a few examples here of me filming in my younger days. Much of this is 25, 30 years ago, but I still use it now. So Mike Young's original idea, he wanted a car mount. In those days, cameras were enormous, and to mount a camera to the bonnet or the hood of a car, the front of a car, you could buy expensive, heavy mounts, but the Cinesaddle is a complete product. It was designed by a cameraman filmmaker, and he knew what he wanted. He wanted a static mount, he wanted a tripod replacement, and he wanted something he could mount on a car or a boat or a bicycle or a motorcycle or a rubber raft where you'll never be able to take a tripod. Those were all of his ideas. It's a full feature car mount, and you can use it at good speeds as well. And some people might think, well, I'll never use that, but I've been pretty experienced with this gear for a long time, and you'll do a lot of shoots and you don't use it, and then suddenly you need it. You need to tie your Cinesaddle onto something. You need to use those accessories to get a beautiful shot. With the Cinesaddle comes all the bits for static shots, moving shots, as a car mount, or whatever you need to do. And that really differentiates the Cinesaddle from a lot of the other alternatives on the market.
When I was a young cameraman, I always wanted to have a car mount, and that was my initial reason for producing the Cinesaddle. As it turns out, using the Cinesaddle as a very versatile, lightweight, inexpensive camera support is its primary function. You can actually mount your camera virtually anywhere in the whole world.
Now I know these days a lot of people will take a GoPro, they'll stick it on a suction cup, and then they'll get their car shots that way, moving shots from a car. But that's not the same if you're filming from an Alexa or a Red, maybe the Blackmagic cameras or the big Sony or Canon cinema cameras. You're not going to stick that on a suction cup. So unless you're going to buy a dedicated car mount, the Cinesaddle, believe it or not, is one of the most versatile solutions and one of the most affordable solutions as a car mount, or as a general mount for your camera, or whatever it is that you want to tie it to. That's what the mounting kit is for. The Cinesaddle is the only camera saddle on the market which is full featured. Furthermore, the Cinesaddle is durable and tested in the rigors of the production world. Almost 4 decades it's been tested and proven. This is a dependable product with a solid reputation. Yes, there might be alternatives, but there's only one Cinesaddle, and it's made by Cinekinetic. The 3 Cinesaddles, which is the original full size, the mini saddle and the baby saddle, all come with the mounting kit. The Tinysaddle, that's what you get. So for the smaller cameras, the Tinysaddle is absolutely fantastic. It's a full functional Cinesaddle, but certainly as something to get static shots off, if you want to film with it, as a lot of people do this way, even the Tinysaddle, which is the more affordable of them, is a very good product. This is the best secret of all. This is the Tinysaddle. The Tinysaddle is special. It's the smallest of the Cinesaddles, the most portable, and most convenient to have with you at all times. It's also the most affordable of the Cinesaddles. This is made of a lighter weight canvas to the larger Cinesaddles and is designed as a mount for smaller cameras. This functions the same as the larger Cinesaddles. However, the Tinysaddle does not come with a mounting kit. This can be purchased separately if required. As you can see, the results are rock solid. The Tinysaddle provides a perfect platform for filming static shots, time lapses, or use this with the strap around your neck when filming at body or chest level. The Tinysaddle is perfect for those who want an affordable Cinesaddle, which is small and portable. The Tinysaddle is the most affordable of the Cinesaddles, and it's very useful for when you want something light, portable, and something that doesn't take up hardly any space. It is a Cinesaddle. You can see the design is exactly the same. Position the camera into the groove. And that creates a beautiful, stable platform for your camera to shoot from. Tinysaddle, which is the smallest one of all, and that's great for mirrorless cameras, smaller cameras, or even mid-sized cameras. The The superpower which the Cinesaddle offers is its small size, and it's not only because this makes the Cinesaddle incredibly light and portable, it also lets you fit the Cinesaddle and camera into the smallest of places. For example, film inside of a fridge or even a hole in the ground. Position your camera anywhere you can think of. Cinesaddle comes in two configurations. You can buy what would be the standard Cinesaddle or the original. But if you buy what's called the Marsupial Cinesaddle, I don't know if you know what a marsupial is. A marsupial is an Australian creature that have a pouch and they store their young in it. Now you might think, why on earth am I telling you all about that? We took that idea and we built it into the Cinesaddle. This is the full-size Cinesaddle, and you can see it opens up and you've effectively got a storage area inside the Cinesaddle, which is incredibly useful. I use it when traveling around the world. I usually take the Babysaddle or the Minisaddle, and it's very useful because you can store things in it. And I can put my tripod head actually inside the saddle, and it protects it perfectly from damage. It's certainly efficient in terms of space because it only takes up the size of the Cinesaddle, and it is something to consider when you travel, which Cinesaddle is going to serve you best. Yes, you may want a bigger Cinesaddle because you're using a bigger camera, but in terms of transportation, it might be that you've got more room inside your bag for something like a Minisaddle or a Babysaddle. So I take it according to what the shoot is, how much gear I've got, and how much room I've got. And the other brilliant thing is the Komfy Strap, which actually ships with the three main Cinesaddles as part of the purchase, or you can buy it as an accessory if you have an older Cinesaddle. That simply goes around the strap of the Cinesaddle, close it with the Velcro, and then with the heavy camera around your neck, obviously adjust it to the height you need. You can film all day with the camera mounted, and the Komfy Strap will keep you comfortable all day. Nothing's going to be cutting into the back of your neck. This way of filming works great, particularly when you've got a heavy camera which will be rigged up in a cage with a monitor, V-lock batteries and other accessories. The Minisaddle. This is the ideal compromise between the full-size and smaller Cinesaddles. The Minisaddle was designed for mid-size cameras. However, it is also suitable for larger cameras. If you want one Cinesaddle, which will accommodate pretty much all of the cameras on the market, large or small, this is it, the Minisaddle. The Minisaddle is available in Marsupial and comes standard with mounting kit and Komfy Strap. So Cinekinetic came out with the Minisaddle, and it's been very popular, and as you can see it's like half the size of the full-size Cinesaddle. Now, you don't really lose that much, believe it or not. It's very capable. You get a perfectly steady shot from it. You can mount it on a car just like the original Cinesaddle, and it does everything you need. It's brilliant the way it is. It's simplicity, and it works beautifully. One of Mike Young's obsessions was quality. He would not compromise on the quality of the Cinesaddle. He always makes sure they bought him the best canvas, good quality rope, and everything's been sewed and produced to the highest standards. Mike was determined to make the Cinesaddle a complete and capable product, manufactured to the highest quality. He refused to move the production away from Australia for one simple reason. Well, maybe he could have got some cheaper labour. He never would have been able to control the quality of the product. So it's built here in Australia, in Perth, Australia, and every Cinesaddle is tested and checked before it goes out. And if there is any issue, it's under warranty. We stand by the product. Everyone knows that the Cinesaddle, it's known as the original Australian Cinesaddle. It's made in Australia, and we're proud of this. Now, there's some pretty interesting feedback that we've had back for the Cinesaddle over the years. It's been used on some of the Star Wars movies. Stanley Kubrick's production company ordered a Cinesaddle. Major productions, the Hunger Games, we know that it was used on that because this feedback comes back. Sometimes we get notes from gaffers or people ordering Cinesaddles and they tell us what they've been up to. But over the 35, close to 40 years that this product has been available, it has been used everywhere, from the highest blockbuster movies right down to some guy filming a corporate video, which is what I'm doing right now. Okay, now one more important point about the Cinesaddle. It actually gets better with age. Now the Cinesaddle is made out of canvas, the highest quality canvas that we can get, and it was specifically chosen because it beautifully molds itself to the shape of a camera and it wears in over time, meaning it softens up. I've got Cinesaddles that I've been using literally for more than 30 years, and I've never had to get them serviced. The only thing I'd ever done is change the beans, but they get a beautiful softness to them the more you use them. So like scars and fine leather, or like wine in a cabinet, it gets better the older it gets and the more it gets used. You use it and it'll soften up beautifully. The ethos of keeping the Cinesaddle to the highest quality level remains today. This is a no compromise philosophy. It's the foundation on which the Cinesaddle was built, and with close to 4 decades in production, the Cinesaddle rules supreme as king of the camera saddles. It makes a great seat wherever you are. It also works as a pillow. You want to rest, you want to lay down, just do it. Just out of interest, Cinekinetic once built a giant Cinesaddle which they called the Maxisaddle. That was a custom built Cinesaddle which was used for an IMAX camera. The people behind IMAX contacted Cinekinetic and said, we need a really big Cinesaddle. And you can see it here in the photos. That's quite extraordinary. So if you've got a giant camera, we can accommodate. And for me, the Babysaddle, which is right here, that's the one I like the best. I love the size, perfect for my cameras, and it's just an ideal Cinesaddle to take anywhere. The Babysaddle is a beautiful size, absolutely fantastic, and this is the one I usually take. And there's one fundamental reason: it's a lot smaller. The Babysaddle. This is my favourite of the Cinesaddle because it is a full-featured Cinesaddle with mounting kit made of the same legendary canvas the Cinesaddle is known for. Yet it is small and portable, and it works just as well as the other Cinesaddles. The Babysaddle is the Take Anywhere Cinesaddle, which you can do anything with. Available as a Marsupial, this also comes standard with mounting kit and Komfy Strap. There are some locations that are really difficult to get to, and the idea of bringing a heavy tripod along with all the other bits, the camera, maybe a second camera, the batteries, the lenses, all the accessories, microphones, headphones, it gets to be quite a lot. And in this instance, all I brought with me is a baby saddle, the little tiny Cinesaddle, and no one would know whether I'm shooting off a tripod or a Cinesaddle or how I've done it. And to be perfectly honest, the audience doesn't care, and neither should they. All they see is the result. But as camera operators, we want to make our lives easier, and we want to make it possible to get the shots we need, no matter how remote we are or how difficult it may be. So this location is one of the more challenging ones, and I really didn't want to bring a tripod with me. So I brought a baby saddle, and as you can see, the results look good. I'm sure a lot of you will remember this Betacam from the late 1980s. These would cost almost as much as a house. In fact, I think they did cost as much as a house in those days. But whatever the case, this is what Mike Young was working with. These sort of cameras, look at the size of that. So you take a full-size Cinesaddle, you can see just how well that fits on the bigger Cinesaddle. So when Mike first built the Cinesaddle, this is what he made, a big Cinesaddle. There were no small cameras. It was only later that the Minisaddle and then the Babysaddle and the Tinysaddle came, and the reason he built those was due to the change in technology of cameras. So back in the late 1980s, this was the standard. But for its time, this was state of the art. And with a good lens, and with a good operator, it would produce beautiful pictures. And even now, when you look back on the results that came out of these cameras, they're good pictures. It's all about what you're showing. And the Cinesaddle was certainly a tool in those days that there was nothing on the market that would let you carry a camera like this and be able to film stable shots without taking a really big tripod with you. Cinesaddle, rock solid results every time.